Hey guys, it's Ivy and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September wrap up. I read 6 books. I DNF'd one of them and I wanted to DNF another one, but I didn't. We'll talk about that. So to get it over with, I'll talk about the book that I DNF'd first, which that was The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chachki, and this is a book about a group of friends who are on a heist through Paris in, I forget the time, it's 1889, and I picked this one up on audiobook and I was maybe 75% through. Like, I took the bookmark out, but I think I was here. This is the beginning. It was maybe even further than that. And I just had no idea what was going on. I wasn't connected to any of the characters. I didn't know what any of them were doing, where they were at, what was happening. And I really liked Roshani's other books, The Star Touched Queen, and what was the other one? It's a duology, but they're like companion novels. I love her writing style, but I don't know what happened with this one. I'll try to pick it up at like a later time, like physically with my eyes, because the audiobook was just not it for me. I would even go on walks and listen to it and I would just be like, who is that? What is happening? So I was like, okay, I'm done wasting my time being confused. I'm just gonna not finish it. So this one I didn't rate because I didn't retain anything that I consumed. The next book I read in September was Horrified by Katrina Leno, and if you would like, I have an entire book talk, get ready with me while I do my makeup and talk about Horrified. Horrified is a YA horror novel, and it's mysterious and very atmospheric, and it is about a girl named Jane and her mother Ruth, and Jane's father dies and leaves them in a not good financial situation, so they move from California to Maine into Ruth's childhood home. When Jane gets there, she starts to realize that her mother has kept a lot of secrets from her. Her mother hadn't been there in years, so the house is abandoned because her grandmother died and all the windows are busted and they have a lot of things to clean up. And Jane keeps telling her mother that she's seeing somebody in the upstairs window, and her mother is telling her like, no, you're not. So the novel starts off with us wanting to know who she's seeing and what are the secrets being kept and all of that. And I highly recommend you go and watch that, get ready with me, if you want to know more about this book. But it is spoiler free. I don't go into spoilers or anything. I don't think you should know spoilers going into this. I did also talk about the format of the book, how it's broken down into parts and not chapters, which usually is hard for me to read, but in this book I didn't mind it. I also want to quickly mention that there are some mental health things in this book. If you've read any Katrina Leno before, you know that all of her books deal with mental health and anxieties and different kind of things that come with your mental health, and this one deals a lot with anxiety, and to cope with that she eats pages out of books, which I found extremely interesting. Like, it's comforting to her, but I talk more about that in my book talk, so yeah, go ahead and watch that. I'll leave it linked down below. I did give this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read in September was Wonder Woman Warbringer, and I could check this off of my 20 for 20. I think it was not my 20 for 20 or my top 10 books I failed to read in 2019. Either way, it was a mark off my list. This is by Leigh Bardugo, and this is a book about Wonder Woman. I listened to this on audiobook, which I thought was a good route for it because the chapters were, as I said about other Leigh Bardugo books, they're long, and those tend to be hard for me to continue to be like, not invested, focused, I'll say. This book is about Diana, and she becomes friends with this girl. What is her name? I forget. Alia, I think. They end up going from the Amazon back to the real world, and a lot of things are being uncovered about Alia's family and her overprotective brother. the two girls have to face an enemy in this novel and basically save the world. I only gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it. It's not that the book did anything wrong. It was just that there were times where I was just really would rather watch it as a movie than read it as a book, if that makes sense. Not that the book was bad, but just superheroes aren't really my thing. I would have liked it better as a movie because of that. I'm probably not giving you a good grasp on what this story is about, but I'm sorry. Like I said, it was just an average read for me. 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I was so kindly sent an ARC of this by Tor, but all thoughts are my own, and I do want to have a full review of this. Either this will be up first or the review will be up first. Either way, whichever one you see first. I'll leave the other link down below. Thank you so much to Tor for sending me this book because I am obsessed. Addie LaRue is a girl, this starts off in like the 1600s, and she's a girl who's being married off. She doesn't want to marry. She wants to be free. She wants to have her own choices and her own will, and she has a friend named Estelle who tells her a lot of things and is a very good friend to her, and tells her, you know, you can pray to the gods and ask for things that you want, but never pray to the gods after dark because those are not the ones you want to answer. So upon her wedding night, she runs away and is praying in the woods, and she's praying so hard for so long that she doesn't realize it's nighttime, and the gods, the devil that she doesn't want to show up to answer her prayers, shows up, and she makes him a deal. Her bargaining is very vague. So this leaves the devil with the opportunity to do whatever he wants with her deal, because she's basically just saying like, I want to be free. He does this for her, but she realizes that it's really not the deal she wanted to make, because he makes her free. He makes her immortal. The only problem is he makes her basically invisible. You can meet her and then shut your door, and then you've completely forgotten her, and she can never say her own name. So every time she introduces herself, she has to use a fake name. She can never be herself, except for to the devil, who every year on their anniversary, he shows up and asks her like, are you done? Do you want to turn your soul into me? And to spite him, she says no, because she doesn't want him to win, even though she's miserable and doesn't have family, friends, nobody knows who she is. This happens over the course of 300 years. She just continues to live every day, go wherever she wants, do whatever she wants, and it's really cool because the timelines go back and forth between then and now, so you get a glimpse of everything. So it's not just like it's from the point where she meets the devil all the way to the point she's at now. It's back and forth, which I really enjoyed that timeline. One day she is stealing a book from a bookstore, and the guy, Henry, he works at the bookstore, and he sees her steal this book, and he runs after her and gets it back from her. And so she's done with the book, and she thinks that she can just go back and, like, you know, get a new book. But he remembers her, and this is a huge surprise to her, and she can say her name to him. So we want to know, who is this Henry guy? Why can she tell him her true self? Why does he remember her? And it is just so super amazing good. I highly recommend you guys pick this one up. It is not only one of my favorite novels of the year, but one of my favorite novels of all time, and I am just so obsessed with this story. I love that it is a standalone novel, so if you don't want to get invested in a big fantasy series, this is perfect for you. There is lots of gay and bisexual representation happening here, and so if that is another thing you look for, this is perfect for you. I cannot say enough good things about this book. Like, it was just so beautiful and I was just so consumed by this story. I loved it. I loved the devil, which his name, she gives him a name. His name is Locke, and I'm obsessed. I loved him. He was probably my favorite character of the book, to be honest. I'm not gonna go into any more detail here because I am gonna do a full review on this book either before or after this. I also want to mention that if you are somebody who speed reads and everything, this is a book that I really read slowly and savored every single word and page and everything. I really took my time reading this novel because there was not a thing I didn't want to miss, because I just am in love with this book. It is so good. So I really recommend you guys pick this one up. It comes out October. Comes out October 6th, which is this week. I'm hopefully gonna have this video up on Monday. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I really recommend you guys pick this one up, and I'm really excited because I pre-ordered it and did a virtual tour date, and I'm gonna watch V. Schwab in conversation with Taylor Jenkins Reid, another one of my favorite authors, so I'm really excited. And I just really want to say thank you to Tor for letting me read this book early because it is so good. They're so awesome. Thank you. 5 out of 5 stars. Please read this. The next book I picked up is Beach Read by Emily Henry, and this is a rom-com. This is a book about January and Gus, and they were rivals in college, and they end up being neighbors on these beach houses. They are both authors, and they're both kind of stumped, so they make a deal to write in each other's genre, and he writes kind of like crime, literary fiction, hard-hitting books, and she writes romance. And so this leads them to hang out all the time because they need to do things together so they can write about each other's books, blah blah. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay. Sometimes January was like really annoying to me, so I was just like, girl, get it, come on, get it together, please. And it was just kind of like, she was clingy, but she was scared to be clingy, and he was going through a divorce, so like sometimes he got kind of like caught up in things, and she would just get mad instead of like trying to talk to him about it, and he wouldn't really talk about it, so it made things awkward. And it was just an okay book. If you love romance, I recommend this to you. I enjoyed my time reading it. Will I read it again? No. But am I glad I read it? Yes, because there's so much hype around it, and I had to know for myself how I felt, and I'm just in the middle. The final book I'm going to talk about today is Night Film by Marisha Pessl, and this book is about Scott McGrath, who is a journalist, and he writes about this infamous movie director named Cordova, and Cordova's daughter has committed suicide, so Scott McGrath goes back to writing about him and investigating her suicide and everybody he knows and everybody around them. It's really all you need to know about this. This is the book I almost DNF'd, because by the end of it I was just like, this is unnecessary, I don't care, this is too long. Like, if this had been a 300-page book, like 350, I really think it could have rocked, but there was just too much unnecessary information that for me made me not enjoy it as much. I only gave this 2 out of 5 stars. The big plot twists really weren't that exciting to me, so I'm shocked because I hear so many people talk about how this is the most amazing thriller and you have to read it and blah blah blah. And actually, matter of fact, I've recommended this to people without reading it because they asked me for a good like thriller, and I was like, well, I heard about this book, I haven't read it yet, but a lot of people really like it. And my friend Lexi, I'm pretty sure, liked it way more than I did, so I'm glad you liked it. Surprised I didn't. Yeah, I'm shocked. Maybe this is the book for you if you do like long thrillers, but the plot twist didn't really do much for me. So like I said, had it been shorter, I think I could have really liked it, but it was just unnecessarily long, and I just was like forcing myself to make it to the end. That's why it only got 2 stars. Okay guys, that is my September wrap up. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts on them. If you're excited for Addie LaRue, scream it from the mountaintops in my comments, or just like leave me emojis or something just to bring a smile to my face, because I just need it. Pretty bored these days. That is it for this video. I really hope you guys have a beautiful day. May the force be with you. And if you're looking for me anywhere else, you can find that link down below. Okay,